minute, because I've got a structure. I want to stick to the structure, right? Declan Rice. We saw it in the montage in the intro. And I don't know which the name of the gentleman that was on Filthy Fellas. I don't know which person.
His name's Scorcher.
He's a Spurs fan.
Okay, sorry. What was that, David?
His name's Scorcher.
Scorcher, there we go. I also love the way I generally love the way he talks. And do you want to know why I love the way he talks? 1 minute it's proper London, and then like old school, and then there was like sort of younger like slang. It was just such an interesting way. I've not seen him on there before. I don't watch a lot of Filthy Fellas. I watch some of it, but he was sort of calling out Rice. But he wasn't the only person in the world. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in the fan channel community have said similar about Declan Rice, including you, David, the whole Euros tournament. Has Declan Rice's, I'm going to go to Henry first on this, has Declan Rice's performances over these two legs shut that kind of conversation down now as to whether he is or isn't a top class, £100 million leading midfield player in Europe? Has that all now been put to bed? We can stop debating it.
Oh, 1,000,000%, 100%. His performance in the first leg to put the team on his back. The first free kick was unbelievable. To then follow it up with one of the best free kicks you'll see for many, many years in the Champions League quarterfinals against Real Madrid, and then to go to the Bernabeu they were under pressure a lot of the time to win every header, every duel, starting the counter-attacks, breaking up play. On current form, he's one of the best central midfielders in the world. There's maybe a couple, one better right now. I mean, everyone talking about his £100 million price tag. I don't really think we should be talking about that price tag because he's worth every penny. He's one of the first names on the England sheet. He's one of the first names on the Arsenal sheet, and he's proved that he can step up in the biggest games. You know, I don't really understand why I get what that guy was saying on that podcast, you know, but he's just shut him up. Let's just be real. He's just shut every single person up. The first performance was unreal, but from a defensive standpoint, in the fact that Arsenal were under the cosh for defending as a unit, defending as a team, set up to counter-attack, he showed both parts of his game. Like, let's be real right now. How many central midfielders on current form would you take over Declan Rice right now?
Not a lot.
Some people might say Pereira from Inter Milan. Some people may say one of the boys from Barca, but that is it. Like Jude Bellingham, £100 million. You know, Camavinga, he's probably worth a huge amount. Sure, many. Luka Modric at 39, all the accolades he's got. He bossed everyone from a defensive standpoint, from his free kicks, deliveries. He was absolutely unreal. Like, if anyone still doesn't rate this guy, then you simply have an agenda, I'll be honest.
Here's what I say, that he hasn't shut them up yet. I personally, for me, I think it should. Let me just get it out there first. I think anyone questioning the guy should stop and allow my man to keep cooking because he's a quality footballer. But I think for quite a few people, and it's not just him, this is a lot of those Arsenal players, until they lift something big, they will not get the respect that they deserve. And to be fair, I understand, because on this channel, we talk about the performances leading up to winning the big trophies, you know? And if you're performing in these big moments, but yet failing each time to get over the line, there is a cap to how far I believe you can be rated in that sense. So I don't think he should be judged as the way that he has been. I think he's been harshly judged over the last few years. But for it to be cemented where people don't question, Arsenal needs
let me question you on that, because I hear you, but I want to get some more information out of it. I get if we're comparing him to Lampard, Scholes, Carrick, Gerrard, to name a few, Kante, Toure, etc. These guys had games, not all of them. Kante did actually against Madrid, doing back-to-back man of the matches against Real Madrid. Most haven't done that, to be fair. But obviously those guys have all led their teams to Champions Leagues, some of them Premier Leagues, FA Cups, etc., etc. So I don't think anyone's comparing Declan Rice to those legends. And you are right, to get into their club, he's got to lift those trophies, be integral in lifting those trophies. But when you're talking contemporary, when it comes to the debates about who's better between, for instance, him and Caicedo as an example, how do you feel about those conversations? We know aesthetically, that's another debate. If someone likes the way one plays versus the other, it's almost a pointless debate. It is what it is. But in terms of Declan Rice, the delivery, the output, the performances in the big games, is he left his current contemporaries in the Premier League by and large behind and joined others?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think he's in that top tier bracket where, as much as someone like Caicedo is a top talent, we haven't seen him in this stage at all. You know, we haven't seen him in play against Real Madrid. We haven't seen him play against the best teams in the world and carry Chelsea to the next round of a cup. We need to really stop having these debates, especially with Chelsea players, because I know Chelsea fans love to say that their squad is the second best or the best in the league, but yet the sixth. Declan Rice is proved that you don't need to be silky, you don't need to look the greatest, you don't need to always do the forward pass or the either needle pass. That if you are as efficient in every single thing you do, whether it be defending, whether it be shooting, whether it be tackling, whether it be passing, as long as you're efficient and you do it consistently, that is what it takes to be called a top level player.
What do you say?
And the fact that he's got the mentality to do it as well.
Yeah. What do you say to this, David? I know you're not the biggest fan of his, and I know that maybe the way he plays, the way he looks on the pitch, you'll never like. But I also know you've got a proper brain, and you can be objective. Objectively speaking, seeing him deliver like he's done in those two games, as with all the other body of work he's got, is it about time people at the very least just respect him as being a top quality midfielder, or are you still not convinced personally?
As a member of the burnt rice community, I have to be quiet, but my opinion hasn't changed. Just because I've seen players have 2 good games against very good teams, but that doesn't change my overall opinion, because I felt like I have been lied to. Because last season, I didn't watch him in depth. Then I watched the Euros and I said, who's this guy that everyone's been chatting about? And then this year I've watched him, and there's been a lot of times when I've been like, this guy leaves a lot of wanting. Now, the Real Madrid games, fair play to him because he balled out. And I'm not salty about it. If the guy plays well, the guy plays well. Those free kicks, unbelievable. The performance yesterday was very good. It was very good. However, do I see Declan Rice whipping in 2 free kicks in the top bins regularly? No, I don't. If he puts in the level of performance yesterday, which I believe is much more likely to happen again and again, then I can say my hand up. I was wrong.
This is Caicedo ahead of him.
I think there's
no. I don't think so. I don't think so. As a player, I think Caicedo is better. However, in terms of what they've done in their careers so far, Rice is ahead of him.
What is Caicedo better than Rice at?
This is why
I think defensively he's better. I think passing.
No, he's not.
Okay, when you say defensively, actually break it down.
Guys, let me jump in. Let David explain it and then challenge him, because if we all jump in, the audience can't hear what's being said. So finish what you think he's better at, and then I'll hand it out to you guys to debate it, just so we can keep a little bit of order. Sorry.
I personally think that Caicedo's tackling, Caicedo's, I want to say, I would like to say also his interceptions are probably slightly better, but I think they're about the same. But obviously you can literally fact check that. You can fact check that. I also think that Caicedo is a much more intelligent footballer. But how you measure that, I'm not quite sure. But in their careers so far, of course, Rice is better than Caicedo. I can think a player is better, but their career is better overall. Like the other player's career is better overall. I just think that Caicedo, if he was in that Arsenal team, would be better than Rice is right now. That's my opinion. But
I'll go to Agal next, and then I'll go to you, Henry. What are you saying, Agal?
Personally, I'm looking at Declan Rice as a better signing. I'm saying versatility-wise, he's able to play the 6, he's able to play the 8, he's played as a high level. Now, I get it. If you want to just say pure destroyer, pure defensive numbers and statistics, maybe Caicedo's defensive numbers are better, but he's also playing in a Chelsea team where you're going to get more defensive actions and you're going to be defending a lot more because of the way your team plays. I think Declan Rice has been a bargain, and what makes him better for me, Caicedo is capability to not only show the highest level in the final third. Also, I haven't seen that from Caicedo. I've never seen Caicedo get involved in the final third as much as I've seen Declan Rice. I've seen Declan Rice for West Ham and Arsenal carry the ball from distance, get and drive into the box and either set up an assist or score. We've seen it in the lead up to West Ham winning their trophy, and we've seen it just this past weekend for Arsenal in the game versus Brentford. I've never seen Caicedo do that, not dribble, but carry the ball from distance and do that. There is attributes that Declan Rice has that Caicedo has never shown, but I think majority of things that Caicedo can do, Declan Rice can do. And I think the only difference that people look at is aesthetics. Caicedo might be a little bit more better aesthetically looking at him on the ball. He's a little bit more press resistant, but I think Declan Rice is the better all-around player. And what is it? 1 year difference in age? And you can see already how much more he's accomplished in his career.
Yeah, I think your gal's pretty much spot on. I think Declan Rice has also got one thing that Caicedo doesn't, and that's leadership. Like he's a captain without an armband on. Like he's the one that's orchestrating that, breaking out from the back lines and playing it out wide. I think his final third passing's miles better than Caicedo's. I think he's turned up in a lot of the bigger moments in his career so far. I know people like to shit on the Conference League, but he has won that. And was very, very good against Fiorentina in the final. If Chelsea do that and Caicedo does that in the final,
very quick, yeah, but very quickly as well. I know West Ham fans won't like this. I still think there's a difference between that West Ham team and even this Chelsea team, because if you go back to what that West Ham team was and who they have in their team, how many of those players legitimately would Chelsea fans want to put into that Chelsea team now?
Not many.
Barring Bowen, how many of those? Was he playing for them in that Conference League? I don't think he was there.
No, they had Paqueta.
And that's not a dig, but that's West Ham or not Chelsea's level. So West Ham winning the Conference League is a much bigger achievement than Chelsea winning it, if you get where I'm coming from. But
Chelsea
sorry, back to you.
Win it, like if they go on and win it and Caicedo bosses out in the Conference League and gets man of the match, then fair enough.
Yeah.
But if he does play and they don't win it, then there's an argument. I think Caicedo defensively probably has the edge on Declan Rice, but he doesn't have a Declan Rice package to play both roles.
Can we be honest?
Can I just say, because I've literally just gone and looked up their numbers. Moesis Caicedo averages 3 tackles, 1.2 interceptions, and 1.5 blocks. Declan Rice averages 1.8 tackles, 0.9 blocks, and
he's also playing in a team where
wait. And passing wise, Moesis Caicedo has more passes completed and a higher completion rate. However, Declan Rice in the final third is better than him, and his progressive carries are much higher. So my eye test of what I believe is true, I believe the numbers back up as well.
He's a better all-around defensive-minded midfielder, but he can't play both roles. Declan Rice can play the 6 for Arsenal very, very well, and the 8.
I don't think he's that good as an 8 personally.
You know something? I've been hearing this a lot. Right. I think it's actually I think he's actually so good and changed so much since he's come to Arsenal and shown what he's capable of doing as an 8. That's why we're looking to go buy a 6, because Declan Rice, what he lacks in the passing and the press resistance, as people say, he's more suited to play as an 8 for us in the way that we play, and his ability to carry the ball and drive from deep is something that Martin Odegaard doesn't have in his game. So it suits us better when he plays as an 8.
To an extent.